Hello, everyone, and welcome to this BSI webinar about qualifications. Today, we will look at the world of qualifications. We'll be exploring what they are, how they work, and the benefits they can bring. We also have key qualification achievers here today who will also share their experience with taking a BSI qualification. And we will have a little discussion together about how these qualifications have impacted on their professional careers in industry and their general experience with taking a qualification with BSI. But let's start off and just ask the question, what are qualifications? So when unpacked, most qualifications contain a requirement for learning or training together with the requirement for assessment. So with that in mind, it's really useful to think of a qualification as the minimum amount of learning and assessment required to reach a certain level of competency to be successful in a specific role. So let's just think about that learning or training part. We understand training to be the formal process whereby you acquire new or improve on existing knowledge and skills to help you perform better at work. Whereas assessment is the process of obtaining evidence from various different sources to capture an understanding of what you know, what you understand, and what you can do with your knowledge after having been trained. So in most cases, we understand assessment to mean an exam, but it can also take other forms such as coursework, portfolios, practical tasks. In short, anything that is a controlled inspection of the application of your knowledge. So why are qualifications important? Let's think about how a qualification differs from a standalone training course. So in a training course, you're required to attend the course for a stipulated number of hours or days. You work with your colleagues and your tutor throughout the course to understand the content of the course. And at the end of the training course, you receive a certificate of attendance. So as we've discussed, qualifications show your knowledge and skills in your specialist subject. So with these qualifications, employers understand that you've developed not just the important base skills, but also the technical knowledge they need to offer employment in this sector. And this is why qualifications are so important. So now that we've understood what qualifications are and their purpose, it's good to perhaps look at how qualification can contribute to your own career and professional development. So first and foremost, a qualification can significantly expand and enhance your skill set. There are excellent tools to help you gain new industry-related skills, innovative skills, newer skills, as well as potentially updating and refreshing existing knowledge. You may have taken a training course in the past, but doing a qualification now just gives you the opportunity to refresh what you already know. In some industries, there might be jobs that are only accessible to you once you're qualified at a certain level. So this means that taking qualification can certainly help you broaden your career opportunities. So even if there are roles where there aren't any prerequisites or minimum qualification requirements, holding a qualification will give you a better chance of standing out from the crowd and being considered for different positions. It benefits your career, but also shows employers your personal and professional commitment to industry. So it's good to think about it from the perspective of a recruiter. A delegate with specific qualifications that are relevant to their industry is naturally going to seem more dedicated than one who hasn't completed kind of any qualification. So doing one qualification is likely going to provide the stepping stone needed to do another. In much the same way, a degree is a stepping stone to a master's and then onwards to a PhD. So organizations that deliver qualifications like BSI often have established pathways that will help you take you from the beginning right through to the more advanced level, meaning that you have a well-defined learning pathway ahead of you. And this can help you build your skills and knowledge along the way. The benefits we've explored highlight how useful qualifications are to an individual, regardless of the industry that they're in. So this shows that a person does not necessarily need to rely on their organization to scope out their professional development journey. So nowadays, individuals are increasingly taking charge of their own learning and development journey and are looking for opportunities on their own to get qualified. Qualifications are offered in all shapes and sizes, so an individual could opt to take a smaller qualification that focuses on the fundamentals of their industry, before discussing perhaps with their organization to then pursue broader and more niche or more technical and advanced qualifications further down the line. And today, learning and assessment do not necessarily require individuals to attend live training sessions and take exams at dedicated exam venues. Online and e-assessment solutions allow learners and individuals to get qualified through blended solutions like on-demand training and on-demand exams. And this allows for a far more customized, flexible experience that can easily fit in with the individual's day-to-day work responsibilities. So, why do the qualification with BSI? So, upon completion of a qualification with BSI, you are awarded the BSI Mark of Trust and a blockchain verified certificate that states the qualification that you have completed. The exams that are created, the assessment pieces that we mentioned previously, have been created in mind to test various concepts of the training course for maximum retention. And what we mean by that is the exams are designed to stretch and challenge and provide different scenarios that will require learners to can go through the training content they have been given and manipulate that content and apply it to the specific scenarios in the exams. The qualifications that BSI offer are all modular based, so there isn't a kind of a linear setup for the qualifications. They are designed to be taken in chunks, and we go back to what we mentioned about BSI's qualifications also being a flexible option. So a modular style qualification is far more flexible than if you were to do it all in one go. And this is likely to fit in better with somebody who is already working in industry and is a little stretched for time. The key points, the key benefits of doing a qualification with BSI is that BSI also recognizes any relevant training that you may have done in the past. And what we try to do is take that into consideration so that when you do join a BSI qualification pathway, we are minimizing the amount of duplicate training that you need to do. So there is an opportunity for us to evaluate any training that you have done in the past and take that on board when outlining your qualifications journey. So now that we've discussed qualifications in depth and looked at the main points behind the purpose and benefits of qualifications, I'd like to introduce two guests to this webinar who are here to discuss their own experience in taking a qualification with BSI and how it has impacted on their own professional development. Okay, so I am joined by Amy, who is one of BSI's qualification holders. Thank you for joining me, Amy, this morning or your afternoon. It'll be really great to learn a little bit more about your experience with BSI and taking qualification with BSI. But before we kind of go into that, how about a little introduction to who you are, what you do, and a little bit about you.
Okay, thank you. Hello, my name is Ami Rahmadani Widyastuti. You can call me Amy. So basically, my background is from architecture engineering, and then I learned also the Master of Global BIM Management. And I currently work in Hutama Karya Persero. It's a state-owned enterprise in Indonesia. I work as the senior analyst for the digital construction in the Hutama Karya.
Great. So what I'd like to do is just kind of ask you a few questions about BSI, your experience with BSI and taking your BSI qualification, and how kind of that applies to your day-to-day work and why you decided to do that. So I think that's a good place to start. So why did you choose to study a qualification with BSI?
Yeah, so I see BSI offer a wide range of qualification related to the practical knowledge required in the industry. So based on my practical needs in construction industry, I took the BIM Project Information Professional Qualification to support my credential as a BIM manager or like a digital construction specialist in my company.
So you took the professional qualification, which is all 6 parts made up of 6 different components. A pretty extensive qualification with quite a breadth of content there. What did you consider were the advantages of taking a qualification, just in general? Like, what did you feel taking a specific qualification? What would be the advantages of doing so?
So I think taking this qualification takes time to learn how the ISO 19650 as the base of this class subject is explained thoroughly, and also how it can be practically implemented in the project. I think the most important part is how it can be practically implemented. So upon taking this qualification, I can demonstrate how to implement the information management in the project and in the corporate scale. So it also brings like confidence on managing the implementation in our company's digital transformation journey. So as Futama Karya, we are working on variety of projects like building infrastructure to also project plan facilities.
So speaking about learning about the practical side of implementing the knowledge that you've acquired whilst doing the qualification, what was the ultimate impact you feel that doing this qualification had on your career or your job?
Yeah, the qualification has supported me to demonstrate compliance with the international standards in the industry. So yeah, in this case is ISO 19650. And also leading the BIM implementation team in this company requires me to have like a detailed knowledge in how information management can work with BIM information modeling. So after gaining this qualification, I can be more confident and also resourceful to support the team and managing BIM implementation in my company.
Absolutely. So what do you think was the most enjoyable part about doing a qualification?
Yeah, so the learning process is always challenging, of course, because this is like a new knowledge for me, and previously it was not a common thing around my peers. So it required more focus and deeper understanding. But one of the aspects that helps a lot in this classroom and in the process of gaining this qualification is that how we can discuss in the classroom, and also like talking about the case study with the participant and also the trainer to see how the knowledge can be practically implemented in our project. I think that is the most enjoyable thing that I can get from this qualification.
Yeah, it's interesting you said that as well about the BIM qualification in this particular sector. So it's a pretty new sector. And I think BSI was one of the first to offer qualifications in this space. And we've seen quite a nice uptake of BSI qualifications, particularly in BIM. So it's great that you can amongst some of the first delegates to take these qualifications. So was it a conscious decision on your behalf to take a BIM qualification? Was it something that your employer or organization kind of thought? Were they looking for qualification for their staff? How did this kind of come about?
Yeah, as a major state-owned enterprise in Indonesia, my employer always support their employees to taking a global standard qualification. So we have to ensure our company's compliance with international standard. So after exploring some options of qualification, me and my team suggest to pursue this BIM project information professional with BSI. So it's like the both sides, our company support us, and we also trying to find the most practical and also the best option for gaining this qualification.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something kind of I refer to all the time when talking about qualifications is how important it is for the organization, as we talked about, in terms of reaching international standards, making sure their workforce is upskilled and, skilled to a particular level, but also the development of the individual as well, investing individual in terms of their own professional development. So yeah, I completely agree when you mentioned it's kind of a joint decision and it kind of benefits both sides. So for all the other people that are considering taking a qualification with BSI, what advice would you give to them if they're thinking about doing a qualification with BSI?
Yeah, I would suggest anyone who's considering taking qualification with BSI to not only pursuing the certificate, of course, but also taking time to actually learn, enjoying the process where we can dig deeper the knowledge and the experience through discussion with other participants, with the trainer, since the knowledge is actually beneficial for our daily business. Yeah, so we can further implement it in our project and gaining more and more advantage to ourselves.
Absolutely. That's great. So in terms of your own BIM development, have you thought a little bit about what might be next in terms of further study, learning, research? Do you have a plan for what your next steps are potentially in your professional development?
Yeah, so basically, I'm doing some research, and we are like completing some paper and also some articles that we can publish about our journey in our company. Maybe something about the technical thing, something about more of the management aspect of how to implement this digital construction and how also to make it more beneficial in the project management aspect of our project. I think step by step we are trying to be more resourceful also, and also we can explore and we can share our knowledge to the industry as well.
Yeah, yeah. So there's actually a final step in the BIM qualification pathway, which is the certified professional part as well, which is for delegates looking to take their professional qualification even further. And this is more about substantiating competence and skill within industry. So it's more moving away from training, but more about providing evidence that you're applying what you've learned in your workplace, combined with the CPD requirements and some other things like that. So it's always something to consider now that you've got to the professional stage. There's always the certified professional stage afterwards. Just something to consider if that might be something for your professional development going forward. But apart from that, that's been really insightful. I'm really happy that you've been able to share your insights with doing a qualification with BSI. Even more thrilled that you found it an enjoyable experience, particularly for BIM, which is a new sector for qualifications in general. So we hope to see you on the final step of the qualification part, maybe in the future. And I just want to thank you for your time and sharing your experience, and wish you the best of luck in the future. So thank you for joining me, Amy. It's been really great to have you.
Yeah, thank you, Mike, and thank you, BSI, for this opportunity.
Thank you. Right. So I'm joined now by Joanne Yip, and we're going to just talk a little bit about Joanne's qualification journey with BSI. But before we do that, Joanne, welcome. Thank you very much for joining me today. It'd be really great to have just a quick introduction to who you are and what you do.
Sure. So I'm Joanne Yip. I'm the client manager from Malaysia. So I'm an auditor covering the schemes such as ISO 9001, ISO 45001, as well as ISO 14001. Yeah.
Great. So yeah, like I said, what we'll do is just talk a little bit about your journey with BSI and doing a qualification specifically with BSI, and then just some questions about how you feel the qualification has helped you in your professional life. So let's start by talking a little bit about why you chose to do a qualification with BSI.
Yeah. So as management system auditors, we always look for recognized credentials to prove our ability. So BSI Mark of Trust is globally recognized for this intended purpose. As of this point, I'm currently having the practitioner certification. So I wish to go beyond that to achieve a certified professional level.
So the practitioner qualification, that looks at understanding the requirements of the standard, and then moving on to understanding how to audit, either internally audit or doing a lead audit against the standard that you've done the requirements against. And then, like you said, moving forward to the professional is more a focus on process improvement and how to suggest process improvement initiatives to strengthen management system. So great that you're looking forward to doing the professional part of the pathway. So what do you think are the advantages of taking the qualification, particularly in the auditing sphere?
Yeah. So it definitely sets me apart from other auditors in the world. So BSI auditor qualification, it enables auditors to have their skills benchmarked and validated by BSI's trusted expertise. So qualified auditors will earn the BSI mark of trust as proof of these valuable skills and knowledge.
Exactly. And with that mark of trust, they can display it, social media, business cards, but, it's an individual mark of trust. So, it's personal to you. And it's great because, of course, BSI operates in multiple areas, but it's got such an extensive history in the auditing sphere. So it's a good provider to get an auditing qualification with, for sure. So great, you've done a practitioner qualification. So what impact do you think having done this qualification has had on your career so far?
Yeah, so I think this program is a good platform for me as an ongoing professional development, whilst assuring confidence in my auditing expertise. I also believe that this program has enhanced my career growth and at the same time adding value to my clients or auditees. Yeah.
Yeah, great. And so far, like you mentioned, you've done the practitioner qualification. What have you found most enjoyable about enrolling onto a BSI qualification and what you've done so far?
Yeah, basically the satisfaction that I get by having my skills and knowledge validated. At the same time, the ability to audit beyond just a conformity check, to add value to my clients and auditees in terms of identifying improvement opportunities, such as reduction in waste in their processes and operations, increased efficiency. So those are some of the benefits that the clients, will obtain. And also being able to share my experiences with other colleagues and encouraging them to go for this program as well.
Absolutely, yeah. And we hope to see your colleagues and other people in your network enroll onto a BSI qualification soon as well. Just talking about your decision to do a qualification now, was this something that you decided to do? Was it a self-funded initiative into your own professional development, or was it something you discussed with your employer as a professional development initiative? How did it come about?
Yeah, so my employer BSI shared about this program. So when I found out about this program, I immediately jumped on board and took this golden opportunity. And BSI has been giving full support in terms of, pursuing this practitioner course, at the same time going for professional and certified professional. So I do have full support from my employer, which I'm very grateful for.
And it's great to know that support is there right to the end of the pathway, right at the certified professional, which is the highest qualification level that BSI offers, and is more about providing evidence that you've applied what you've learned during your qualification pathway in practice. So it's great. Yeah, it's just because we speak to many different delegates, different profiles who come to BSI looking for a qualification. They might be individuals looking for programs and qualifications for their own development, or it might be something that the organization has identified within their workforce and have chosen proactively to upskill their workforce. So, very different kind of range of delegate profiles that come looking for a qualification. So it's really interesting to hear about the employer support behind yours. And let's say a delegate has come to BSI looking for a qualification. What advice would you give that delegate or anyone considering taking a qualification with BSI?
I would say go for it. You have no regrets. Earning the BSI mark of trust will definitely, enhance their career growth. And what's important is that it sets you apart from, the rest in today's competitive environment.
Absolutely. And once you complete a BSI qualification, you'll have your qualification certificate, and like you mentioned, the unique mark of trust that you can display anywhere on your professional network or business card. So absolutely worthwhile for delegates to look into doing a qualification with BSI. Well, Joanne, great. It's been great having you here and learning a little bit more about your experience with BSI. I wish you all the best in your kind of onward journey in the qualification pathway to professional and certified professional. but just wanted to say thank you for sharing your experience with us today. Thank you very much. Thanks, Joanne. A huge thank you to the two guests that joined me today to talk about their experience with qualifications. A very kind of different experience with BSI, a very personal experience based on where they are in their industry. I really hope this webinar has proved useful. I hope that's given you a bit more of an in-depth look at how qualifications are constructed and how they do benefit the individual and the organization. And we look forward to welcoming you onto a BSI qualification pathway soon. Thank you very much for joining. Bye-bye.